Assalamu alaikum. If someone's daughter tells her parents that she is gay, how should you deal with it? She also stops practicing Islam and says she does not believe in Allah.
Okay, don't worry about being gay then. At this point, if you don't believe in Allah, I guess that is where you start. The issue here is so these are two big issues. I don't know where to start now myself, but if she does not believe in Islam, then you do need. We will talk about raising the Muslim child in America, or the upbringing of kids in in the West at 6:15 p.m. inshallah. So we'll talk about some of these things. But let me talk about the gay part of it first. In Islam, the idea of being gay, is it an inclination? There are like a lot of details here. But in Islam, we have the intersex person, the khuntha. These are people who have been created in a way that they do have ambiguous genitalia, and we have in medicine, now it's not basically politically correct terminology, but in medicine, up until recently, there used to be called hermaphrodites. You have the true and the pseudo, and the true hermaphrodite, which actually is truly intersex, like truly in the middle. Genetically, as far, and also when it comes to external genitalia and everything, having both, male and female genitalia and so on. These people were created by Allah in this way. There is no condemnation whatsoever here. In the fiqh chapters, you will find detailed chapters about the rulings, because the Sharia recognizes their presence, and then there should be rulings for them and their inheritance, and they will inherit, half of the share of a male, half of the share of a female. Completely just, approach to this issue. But that is usually not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here, we're talking about behavioral inclination. We're talking about, someone who does have affinity for someone of the same sex, sexual affinity for someone of the same sex. And in this case, if this is just a personal inclination, like personal affinity, if this is a feeling, this is not condemnable as a feeling, because Allah does not burden souls beyond their capacity. And the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pardoned my ummah for ما حدثت به أنفسها, for basically the inner thoughts, their inner thoughts. ما لم تكلم أو تعمل به, until you speak of it or you act on it. So inner thoughts, inner feelings, we even recognize, we have empathy for people that have such inner thoughts. We tell them a lot of people have inner thoughts, but this is how you could overcome them. Because at the end of the day, in Islam, sex between members of the same sex is impermissible, is an enormity. That is just the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not allowable. But if you have such feelings, then we should show empathy and basically try to support those people as much as we can, with warmth and compassion, and try to help them with tips, and make sure that this is not something that the Imam undertakes on his own in isolation from the rest of the experts. That the Imam here is actually seeking help from experts in the community, psychologists, physicians, and so on, to figure out how to handle such issues. Because the Imam is not necessarily trained to be Not all the imams. Some imams are, but not all the imams are trained to be, counselors. So, you basically have to tell them that this is the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no compromise on the rulings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you have such feelings, many other people may have such feelings, and many other people have also a lot of different feelings that are not particularly sanctioned, that are not, or that may be consequential in a bad way to things that Allah had forbidden. And this is how you go about addressing those feelings, and this is how we can support you as your family, as your community, in overcoming such feelings. And I think this empathy, and I think that your approach to the issue from that angle may warm them up to you, and basically allow them to be more open to more advice from you. And when it comes to the fact that she does not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, certainly this is something that is more emergent, and you will have to basically identify the priorities. This is more like urgent than any other thing. And in this case, you'll have to ask why they don't believe in Allah. And if they have some shubha, or if they have some, misconception or some misinformation, then seek the proper help from the proper sources. Go to the sheikh, scholar, this or that, and seek proper help from proper sources to address this issue.
Uh-uh.